China has the potential and the capacity to continue to grow rapidly and quite conceivably to double GDP per head relative to the most advanced countries over the next generation. I'm talking about doubling over maybe a generation, maybe less, 20 to 30 years or so. Now, what makes this plausible in China's case is, well, what it's achieved already so far. My back of the envelope calculations suggest GDP per head has doubled 4 times in the last 40 years. So another doubling doesn't seem such a revolutionary step. China has clearly got the resources to do this with. It has a very high investment rate. It has an increasingly well-educated population, and it has some very strong competitive advantage in some very important dynamic sectors of the world economy. I would say that if China's GDP per head doubles in the next generation, China would then be the largest economy in the world. If the potential I've described, which I'm sure exists, is actually exploited, then China will become the biggest economy in the world for the foreseeable future. If you look at the size of China and look at the capacity of the Chinese people, it doesn't seem to me rational to think with any strong conviction that it won't become the biggest economy in the world, because it only requires it to become properly measured an economy with GDP per head of about 35% or so in real terms of the American. I think it's immensely plausible. It's created at the very least a lot of uncertainty. And uncertainty is economically bad. It's obviously politically bad because it creates hostility. There is a strand to cut off China. It seems to me completely impractical. We got Brexit. We've become inevitably strategically more closer to America because we reduced our strategic relationship with Europe. I don't think the people who want to cut us off from China are really dominant by any means. But there's this additional factor that we have become inevitably strategically more dependent on America. So that makes it more difficult for Britain to diverge significantly from the Americans on any substantial point.